Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Foundation plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I'm going to be talking a little about a new tool I just created for the Foundation plugin. It's called the Grade Beam tool. And so I just pulled the toolbar here out of the top of the tray there, and just to show you which toolbar this is, it's the main toolbar for the Foundation plugin, and it's now the fifth icon over from the left. So it's the Draw Grade Beam tool. So let's go ahead and put that right back there. So I've gone ahead, I've just used the little grid plugin to create a grid here just for convenience sake. And I'm going to go ahead and click this to show you how to use it. And it then pops up with our basic draw menu. So the first thing's probably, of interest that you're going to look at is you're going to add some reinforcement to this grade beam. And I think that's pretty much what everybody's looking for. But yeah, just your basic options here: grade beam width, your depth. You can actually put an angle and a start and end angle on it, just like you can do with strip footings. And you can also do some other cool stuff like height edges. But let's just go ahead and leave the drain pipe off for now and turn the reinforcement on. And let's go ahead and draw one here just to show how this works. So just go ahead and pick your first point, stretch out here. Let's maybe grab another point, and then you notice you'll see kind of like a preview, and then just go ahead and hit your enter key, and that will draw your grade beam. Hit spacebar, jumps you out, of course. So let's take a look at this. Of course, it doesn't look really exciting, but if we turn on the transparency on the concrete layer, get a better feel for what's going on inside of this guy. Okay, so that's what's going on inside. And you can see we've got our longitudinal rebar top and bottom, and we've also got our stirrups or hoops that are running perpendicular to that. Okay, so let's take a look at the settings a little bit more with this particular grade beam. So we'll just go ahead and edit it. Right-click on it, hit Edit Grade Beam, and brings back up the menu where we can actually edit this guy. So the thing you'll notice here is there's quite a bit of granularity and flexibility with this new tool. You have all kinds of clearances down here. You got side clearance, bottom clearance, top and end clearance. So obviously I think these are pretty self-explanatory. The side clearance is for the side and the bottom and top. But let's go ahead and just edit one of these and just get a feel for what happens. So if we change this to the side clearance, for instance, to 1.5 and hit update. Okay, so you can see now the everything shifted quite a bit. Okay, and you can also independently adjust your top and bottom bars. You can turn them on and off, of course, but you can set the dimensions, the diameter of them, as well as the quantity. So let's go ahead and, for instance, on our top bar, maybe we'll set the, let's see here, 0.75, and then maybe we'll do 3. And then on the bottom, we'll just leave them at 0.5, and maybe let's just try 4. I mean, you can do whatever you like here. And you can see now we've changed that quite a bit. Right click again, and there's quite a few settings here. I think most of these are self-explanatory. You can set your spacing of your stirrups. 12 inches right now is our spacing, but let's go ahead and change the, and of course we can set the bar diameter as well. But let's go ahead and change that bend radius maybe to, say, a little sharper, 1.5, just to see what happens. And there you go. Okay, so now we've got them spaced further apart, and we've changed the bend radius of the bar. Okay, so let's change that back to 12 for a second, and I want to do one other thing here. Okay, so you'll notice that this bar starts about 3 inches from the end, and also this end one starts 3 inches from the end. So that's what your end clearance is. You can adjust that, and basically it adjusts each end so that it's that amount of clearance. And as you'll notice, the bars themselves, the longitudinal bars, come right out to the end of the beam. Now, I think if I remember right, you can actually play with that a little bit. Like, let's say you do want that to be covered up. Let's say we change this offset here on the start to 3 inches. And let's see. So what that does is it will actually offset the concrete itself from the start point back however much, and I think we can basically do that with the this end as well. So let's say we want 6 inches for whatever reason, and now we've done that. So anyways, there's a lot of controls essentially that you can use to control all the particulars of this this grade beam. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you have any questions, of course, just feel free to ask. Now what I'm going to show you is, so here's our typical grade beam. Usually it's just a single linear piece of concrete with a bunch of rebar in it, right? Now there might be situations where you might have a section of grade beam that's formed some sort of polyline, right? So let's go ahead and try that. I'm just going to leave pretty much all my settings default what they were. And I'm just going to go ahead and try doing a polyline grade beam now. So let's go ahead and stretch out, and I guess I made this kind of wonky, but oh well. That doesn't really matter. And just hit enter when you're done. And there you have it. There is a polyline grade beam. Notice how the longitudinal bars are bent, and they all track along the beam as one would suspect. Okay, and then there always is one other option possibly that you might do, and that of course would be a closed polyline grade beam, or just a rectangular shape or something along those lines. So let's go ahead and just demonstrate that real quick. So let's try like a little L shape, like maybe you're enclosing a slab or something with this grade beam. Mostly I'm trying to always just give people enough flexibility. You basically go right back to the start point, and then once you get kind of closed out, it's obviously prompting you for another point. Just go ahead and hit your enter key, and it will automatically detect and know that you've closed off this this grade beam all the way around. And notice the rebar just wraps all the way around. So there's your closed polyline grade beam. So just like the the strip footing tool, and similar also to the slab and the slab on grade, you have a few other options here. You can regen a grade beam. You can also edit the grade beam outline, just like you can do with the other tools as well. So quite a few options here. I mean, this is actually really quite a simple tool, but I think it gives people just a bit more flexibility when it comes to making these sorts of beams, I guess, or grade beams with the foundation plugin. Because previously I didn't have a tool that met this specific requirement. You would have to like stack strip footings on top of each other to simulate what a grade beam would look like. So hopefully this meets everybody's requirements. If you have any questions or would like to see additional features added, please feel free to email me, or you can give me a call. I think one last thing I should add is that just like with the strip footing, I did enable the ability to turn on this drain pipe. And let's just try that. I'm going to just leave the defaults just like they are. I turn that on. You'll notice all the options for drain pipes show up. And, of course, you can change all that. Let's just hit update and see what happens here. It takes it a while to regen, only because you've got a lot of rebar being created. And every time you regen or update, you're essentially regenerating and redrawing all of that geometry. So, yeah, there's a lot going on there with that. So, yeah, there's your drain pipe, 4-inch drain pipe all the way around. And, like I said, you can do the same thing with the open polyline or just a linear section of this grade beam. So once again, thank you guys for supporting me with these plugins, and I will continue to keep adding more new and exciting features. So until then, thank you.